everyone, this is Nikki Rowland, and today I have a couple more pages, foundation pages for my December album for Lottie Loves Paper. I'm using the really super cute Hey Santa collection by Create Paper. So today I'm working on pages 9 and 10, and I also create a shaker insert page as well, so I'm going to show you how to do that too. The way I've been setting up my base pages is that on the left hand side of each double spread I would have a white page, and then on the right hand side I have a coloured page, like a pattern paper page. So I was going with that basis, but what I actually did here was the piece of paper on the right hand side, it had this diagonal design on it. It's from the 6x8 paper pad Hey Santa, and I chopped off part of it, and then I also cut various, basically I cut it into a few strips as well, distressed the edges and stuck it all back together onto the page. I'm sorry that that's not showing. I've done that. I'm already at this point of the video. I thought I had filmed that bit, but it doesn't look like I did. So basically I cut it up into a few strips, distressed the edges, stuck them back down, and added some machine stitching. And that's how I created the bottom right corner of that page there. And now what I'm doing is I'm adding some of the charms. So I had a whole pack of charms. Now I did think about putting them on the edge of my album, like hanging off like a tassel type thing, but I thought it'd be more fun to use them within my album really. So I've pulled out a few that I really like, and what I'm doing is I'm stitching them onto this page in a vertical design. Now this paper, so I'm pretty strict at the way that I keep to one piece of paper per page. I do bring in other bits and pieces, but on the whole I don't want to waste too many more pieces of paper because I need them. I haven't, and this paper that I'm using on the background here was a bit boring. It wasn't very Christmassy. It's very pretty, black and white stripes, very lovely. Generally I'd love that in scrapbooking, but for December album it wasn't very Christmassy, so I'm jazzing it up with some extra colour from these charms. So that was my thinking anyway. At this point I'm still using my number holders, placeholders. They're just 1-inch circles with my numbers handwritten on them, because I have now made some digital numbers which I've printed, and they look really pretty, but at the point of making this video they weren't done. They are done. They are done now, and they appear in my close-up photos at the end, but that's what that white circle is there, is a bit out of place, so that's what that is. Okay, so I'm adding a couple of tags. They're both from the ephemera, and I've just distressed the edges, and I'm tying them through with some silver and white baker's twine, and then I'm going to get those stuck in place there. Yeah, that's all looking good. Yeah, and my number placeholder is there as well. And then I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the other side. Now this is breaking the rules. Even though I have rules, they're not strict. I have an idea of what I'm going to do with something, and I stick to that, but it's not hard. Nothing is hard and fast. You know, I can always break my own rules. So my rule is I have a white side and a coloured side, and this time I'm totally breaking the rules, and I'm bringing over some of the pattern paper from the right hand side over to the left hand side as well. So I'm doing exactly the same technique, cutting it into strips, distressing the edges and sticking back in place, and I'm also going to add machine stitching to all of those as well, just to give it a bit of extra texture. I'm going to carry on with the diagonal design, and basically put some embellishments along that diagonal line there. So I've got a couple of tickets there from the ephemera, and I'm just going to staple those together with my little tiny attacher and stick those in place there. But again, this paper, I say, it doesn't have any colour in, so I wanted to bring in some extra colour to this layout, so I'm just adding in some other embellishments and layers there. So that's a little label, kind of like a journaling spot almost, that's just going to go behind my tickets, and then I'm going to mirror the charm. I'm going to bring in a charm from the other side as well and put that there. So the pages coordinate really, really well, even though they are different. Okay, so that's my hand stitching done, not hand stitching, machine stitching. That's my machine stitching done and in place, and my charm is there as well. I'm just going to sew that in place as well. Sometimes I do stick my charms as well, like put a glue dot underneath or some glossy accents so that they don't dangle or move around, because they tend to move around and be in the wrong place. So quite often I end up sticking them down. But I think for these ones so far I've left them dangly. They might get stuck later on, but I'm going to leave them for now because I might want to slot my photos in somewhere, and it might be helpful for me to have them loose if I want to tuck my photo underneath or something. So just adding some extra bits now, a couple of puffy stickers, and that is those pages done. So they were fairly straightforward. I'm quite happy with how they look, even though I was not inspired by the paper, just because it wasn't Christmassy. Okay, now I'm going to move on to do an insert. Now, I like to have inserts in my albums. I'm not entirely, this is a 6x8 insert, so it doesn't quite fit in the album properly, because if I was to put holes in this now, it will be shorter than the normal 6x8, because of course I haven't allowed for the margin, but I had this 6x8 piece of cardstock cut already, so I thought I would use it. So what I've done is I've got 6x8 cardstock, I've got a piece of 6x8 vellum, and I've stitched all the way around 3 sides on my sewing machine, and I've added sequins in the middle. They're by Spiegel Mum Scraps, and then I've just sealed the top along as well, so I have a lovely vellum shaker pocket. It's not filled with sequins, there's not millions of them, just a few. I wanted it to be like a subtle look, because my plan was to fill up this page, this shaker insert, with words from the really beautiful Hey Santa phrase thickers set in gold. So I'm just going to add a whole bunch of these words onto this page. Now, at the time of finishing this, I'm still haven't decided yet whether I should stitch through all of the words. So normally I would quite often do that, but that's for 2 reasons. One, I do like the look, but 2, because I need them to stay in place. These are stuck really well because these are kind of puffy. They're not foam. Foam letters stick the best, but these are kind of puffy. But because they're going onto vellum, and vellum is a smooth surface, whereas usually my cardstock is textured. They stick really, really well. I don't need to sew through them in order to keep them in place. They will stay on their own. But I do like the look. But the other reason I thought I might sew through them is because the sequins, because there's not very many of them, they're all just falling to the bottom. So if I was to shake them around and have them all over the place, then stitch through them, the sequins would then get caught on the stitched lines. So that might work in my favour. But at this point in time, I haven't done that yet. I may well do so. I was kind of hoping to have a large shaker pocket where they could all move around freely. But what's actually happened in reality is they've all just fallen to the bottom. So they may need some extra stitching to get caught on so they stay a bit more spread out. Okay, so I've got Hello December, Cozy, Season's Greetings, and Be Jolly, and I've added some snowflakes and some stars, some holly, and I'm really happy with how that looked. It was a super simple way to create a lovely little insert. At the moment I don't know where it's going. It's currently in a page protector without a home. it needs, I don't know where it was going to go yet. I haven't decided. And also it might need something on the back. I'm not quite sure yet, so I haven't decided the future of this this insert just yet. But there you go. So that's a few more pages done. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed these layouts and this shaker pocket as well. Don't forget that you can get the Hey Santa collection from the Lottie Loves Paper store. Yeah, happy Christmas. Thank you very much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland for Lottie Loves Paper.